sure we get it all recorded. And I'm going to just go ahead and, Kristen, if you'll keep letting people in as they come on. I'm going to welcome everyone. And I'm Rhonda Zunker with the Bulverde Spring Branch Chamber of Commerce. Did y'all hear any of that? No. Okay, Kristen muted me also. Let me find. Okay, y'all can hear me now. So, did y'all hear any of that I just said? Nothing. Okay. So that was my practice run. So now I don't stumble through it this time. So I want to welcome everyone and thank y'all for joining us at our first coffee of 2021. We know this is going to be a fabulous year. It has got to be better than 2020. So we wanted to kick it off with a real bang, and I think the presentation today will be wonderful. So I'm Rhonda Zunker. I'm the president of the Bulverde Spring Branch Chamber. Before we start the program today, we would like to share an invocation and the pledge to our flags. Mike Clark, I believe you're on the call. If you will unmute yourself and share the invocation for us this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Father, we are so very grateful for this day. We ask that you be with all of us as we are facing a new year that is full of many uncertainties. We ask that your guidance, we ask for your patience with this country as it struggles for all the things doing. We ask that you be with all the members of the chamber and all the members of the community, provide the guidance for them that they need to be successful. Keep them all healthy. With this pandemic, we would ask that you reach down and do away with this thing as quickly as possible. We ask that you be with us the rest of this day, and we ask it in his name.
Thank you. Amen. We have the flag. So if y'all don't mind standing, and let's do a pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, for those of you Texans, honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank y'all for joining us on that. Want to thank y'all again for joining us, and I know you're here to gain knowledge and wisdom about the improvements that will be taking place to our highway system in our area over the next years. Before we get started, I would like to take a moment to ask everyone one last time, if you have not already done it, please put your name and contact information in the chat box today so that we can share that with everyone that registered for the link. We'll be sending out recording today along with the chat box. So if y'all want to get in touch with anyone that is on the call today, you would have that contact information. And in order to minimize the background noise, Kristen is muting everyone during the presentation. If you have a question, please note it in the chat box, or you can raise your hand. There's a way down here for those of you that are smart about that stuff, that you can raise your hand, and we will, at the right time, ask our speaker the questions and try to get answers for you. So thank y'all all for all of that. And Michael Gugliotti, I'm going to turn it over to you. If you would please introduce our speaker for the day.
Sure, thanks. Well, I know we were talking to Will earlier, and everybody kind of heard Richard kind of say a few things, but we're actually happy to have two people from TXDOT join us today. First, Richard De La Garza, who is an engineer with TXDOT. He's the Advanced Planning Director for the San Antonio District. And then also William Lockett, who is an engineer. He's the area engineer from Comal, Guadalupe, and Wilson counties. And Will, I'm reading that off of a card I got in the past, so hopefully that hasn't changed. But we're glad to have both of them, and I'm sure everybody wants me to shut up so you can hear about 46 and all the different improvements and changes that are coming our way in our growing community. So with that, I will turn that over to Richard to go through their information.
Richard, are you there? Hello? Did we lose Richard? Must have lost Richard. Hold on just a minute. He's not on there. Will, are you still there?
They got scared.
There's Will.
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay.
So
I don't know what
46 is
happened to Richard.
the short of it, 46 is going to be a nightmare, but it's going to be great when they're done. So there's the wrap up
Yeah.
of it.
That was the conclusion.
Well, Rhonda, I know I in case Richard got kicked off or something, I did just forward you the updated presentation that Richard emailed me this morning.
Okay.
You want to put that up? I'm sure Will is familiar with it enough to maybe kind of walk us through that as well.
Well,
Okay.
let me reach out to Richard. He might be having some issues.
It looks like he's looking down at something. I don't know if he's hearing us. He can't talk yet. He's doing sign language.
Okay.
I just don't know if maybe he unmuted himself.
He's unmuted. It's just he's having issues, looks like.
Oh, on his microphone, maybe?
I think he's on mute.
I was trying to find him. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to pull up that program for you real quick.
Richard, you turned yourself on mute. There you go.
We got him. There we go. Okay, Richard, you are on. Still don't have voice.
Richard, you muted yourself again.
Yeah. Let me do that. If you'll click, it should. There we go.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I was on my phone and I don't know what happened. It just stopped working, so I apologize for that. Let me share my screen here. Okay, can you all see the presentation now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I apologize for that, everyone. Yeah, good morning. I do have my coffee, so which is early in the morning. And I did hear somebody had a business on FM 306. I didn't have that in the slide, but I want to cover that. Just please don't make sure I forget. I didn't think I didn't think it would go that far out, but sure enough, it is. So this is our virtual coffee. Thank you, Michael, for having me. I appreciate that. We're here to have us TXDOT kind of give you a rundown on our planning projects. And I appreciate Will being here to answer any projects with construction. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, this is the biggie, the one we everybody was talking about. This is the State Highway 46 project. And if you all have been involved in this, it's, gosh, almost 6 years gone that we started this project, maybe a little bit longer than that, from getting a consultant on board to where we are now. The latest on this project is it's currently in PS&E, which we call plan specs and estimates. It's probably between 60% and 90%. And the good news for us is we have received all the right-of-way acquisition and or what we call possession of all the right-of-way along this State Highway 46 corridor, which is pretty, if you all know that, it's been if you go in there is a lot of right-of-way acquisition, and that all has been either acquired or in possession. So that's some good news. This project is being done in 2 phases. We don't have that 96 million. We have about 44 million funded right now. So that's that Far Hills to Bentwood, which is really the heart of that area right there. And then I call it the bookend is the section from Bentwood to FM 3159. if you're not aware, we're expanding that roadway from, that 2-lane section to 6-lane section with a raised median. We'll have bike lanes and sidewalks. And in that phase 2, it's a very similar roadway section, but we are looking at that grade separation at FM 3159. So under the phases, you have, that 44 million for the phase 1, which is what's programmed right now and funded. Phase 2 is at 52 million, which is unfunded. And so our anticipated let date, which we call it awarding it to the contractor, is fall of 2022. I always put like seasons because I don't want to be too specific on months. And then what from that date when it gets awarded to a contractor, it takes about 3 to 5 months to get folks on the ground. We call it boots on the ground. So so that's that 46 project. I kind of heard somebody joke about how it's going to be messy and complicated. It will, but in the long run, it's going to be a great project. Do I have any questions on that? Can everybody hear me?
We can hear you.
We hear you.
Richard, they were asking if you can enlarge the screen. Right now it has that next slide. Can you take that part off so that
I don't know how to do that.
Okay, no problem. And I will send these, like I said, I'll send the entire presentation out to everyone so that you will have it afterwards. So one of the questions we had that somebody had asked me on the Highway 46 expansion, when you're working here in the town, who would be our contact for the businesses, and are you going to come in and explain to the businesses how you're going to do or the contractor, I guess, explain to the business how they'll do the construction? Will they try to build the new lanes on one side and keep the other lanes open, or how will they do that? Do you know?
Yeah, that probably be a better question to ask Will, but what I know what we anticipate, I don't know what they call the TCP or the traffic control plan. I don't know how they have it planned, but what will be out there today will not be any different. That expansion will be to the outside, so we'll try to keep what's existing today. Now, will there be concrete barriers up, and it could, it kind of narrows the roadway, and that's what really slows people down. And but I don't know how they plan on doing it, which side first. But when Will will be the area engineer for this project, and they usually have a consultant on board that handles all the the public involvement concerns, I should say. But I'm also available as well. So it'd be really your main contact would be myself and Will.
Yes, sir. Can I add to the answer?
Yes, sir. Yes, of course, Will.
Yes. No, this 46 project, we're going to run it out of the new Braunfels area office. So if you have any questions, concerns, or comments during construction, you can contact me directly, or you can contact my office. We originally thought about handling this contract with a consultant. That is yet to be determined. But either way, if we have a consultant on board or if it's members of my staff running the project, you can contact me directly. As far as contacting the businesses along 281, we understand that access, along 46, we understand that access is important. We will try to maintain access to all the businesses during construction, and I do foresee communication between my office and the businesses as well as the city of Bulverde during the construction process, just to keep everybody up to speed and in the know on what's going on.
Okay. We do have one question that came up is why is phase 2 set out so far, especially since it's going to be taking, 2 lanes coming into the 6 lanes and zooming back out to the 2 lanes. Why is it set out so far after the start of the 10 years?
It's set up. Well, there's currently no funding for it. But the good news is that the section from Far Hills to 3159 is environmentally cleared. So, and it's set out due to funding constraints. And some of our projects that were a little bit, that had a little bit sooner let date have been pushed out. And this isn't the only one. There's other projects where we have completed that we have environmental clearance and it's being done in phases, and we had to push it out to that 2030 because of the funding constraints. I know it's before almost a year ago today, we were just cranking. We were moving right along, and this COVID hit, and this is a good sign of what some of our funding constraints is. We're all virtual, right? We're not driving anymore, so that gas tax is kind of low, so that it's just trickling down. So we had to push some of these projects further out. Crossing my fingers that maybe 3-4 years we can recover. It sometimes it takes that long, and then there could be money available, and then we can push that project back up. The good news is they're going to be they're getting the plans completed. So, and we do have the environmental, and we do have some of that right-of-way acquisition in there. So, with all that said and done, you have the right-of-way environmental, and we have the plans, and some project slips in that area, and we find money for that, boom, it gets done. So I would anticipate this to be sooner than that 2030 that I showed, but that's the reason that it was pushed out.
Okay. We have another question. It says work has been underway for months between Far Hills and 281, clearing trees, well, all the way actually, clearing trees, moving monument signage, marking ground, similarly for utilities. Timeline saying fall of 2022, then boots on the ground 5 or 6 months later. Is the current work that they're doing not part of phase 1, or?
That is not, no ma'am, that's not part of phase 1.
That money comes out of a different pot?
Yes, that's the right-of-way acquisition. In the right-of-way acquisition process, they have a contract for demo. So when they acquire a right-of-way and we acquire the right-of-way, or either we get possession, we go out there and try to clear it. And the reason to clear it is so that the utilities can start relocating. Because the utilities, like the overhead utilities, they won't go in there until that parcel that we acquired or is in possession is cleared out. So that's why they've been clearing, moving, brick walls or whatever it is out there, monuments, signs, trees. That's why that's been done, but that's under the right-of-way acquisition process. That's not part of the phase 1 construction yet.
Okay, because it's done by a separate part versus the contractor for the construction. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It's a different contractor who's doing that demo we call.
Okay, very cool. Any other questions about Highway 46? The lanes or the turnarounds, how frequently are they going to have the turnarounds? Will it be at every public road access where there'll be a turnaround, or is it every so distance-wise?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't recall, but I know we pretty much had a median opening at every public street, and then there was some left-in onlys. I think we worked with the school on the both schools on the west side of 281. I'm sorry.
Right.
Usually where the openings are is at the public street areas, and then the rest will be medians at certain locations, median openings.
Okay, with turn lanes involved.
Yes, ma'am. There are some with turn lanes or right turn lanes, left turn lanes, and there's some that will have the traffic signals at. All the traffic signals will be upgraded out there.
Have a question that will the bike lane be protected on a regular shoulder or a regular shoulder? The bike lanes are actually, how are they going to be?
The bike lanes are part of the 6 lanes. It's the 6 lanes with the bike lane, and it's a 5 foot with a stripe. There won't be a protected barrier between the bike lane and the travel lane.
Okay. And through all of this, there'll also be sidewalks, right?
Yes, ma'am. There will be sidewalks throughout the corridor on both sides.
What is the anticipated time frame for the construction? So if it starts in the fall of 2022, when do they anticipate the phase 1 to be completed?
I'm going to make a wild guess on this. I'm guessing it's probably about 3-year project it's going to take.
Okay.
Maybe 2.5. I'm anticipating about 3-year project.
Okay.
Richard, how do you foresee the merging of those 6 lanes down to 2, or I guess it's 3 lanes down to 1 when you're going eastbound there at Bentwood? It sounds like we're going to be dealing with that for many, many years.
It doesn't just when it comes to that 6 lanes, I think we drop. When you're going to Far Hills, we drop 1 lane at Far Hills, like a right turn lane, that 6 lane. And then that 2 lane, we carry that 2 lane through, and then you merge it to 1. And then when that's going westbound, right? You drop the 3rd lane at Far Hills, and then you continue the 2 going through, and then they merge into 1. So it goes past that. I can't remember, like 500 feet or 1,000 feet past Far Hills to the west. Then when you're coming in, it opens up to 2 lanes, and then boom to that 3rd lane.
Okay. So what would that look like on the east side around Bentwood? Will there be a light at Bentwood, or will that will there not be a light there?
I'd have to go look at the schematic to see that Bentwood. Far Hills I remember, but I don't remember what's going on at Bentwood. I don't know. I don't think there's a signal at Bentwood, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that eastbound traffic is so significant in the mornings and the afternoons. I'm just curious how it's all going to converge. So obviously it makes sense. You're going to have 2 lanes for a while, and then before you get down to 1. But it's going to be, I think, going to be problematic with all the traffic going to Smithson Valley High School and whatnot.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but we have to work with what we have. I think when you're coming eastbound or coming westbound, like to Bentwood, it opens up to that 2 or 3, and then that having to drop it at Bentwood's going to be the challenge going eastbound.
Okay.
One of the other positives of this project, from what I've seen, is they're lowering the hill there between Riverway and Bentwood, so the sight distance will improve quite a bit. So I think that'll help with the transition from phase 1 to phase 2 traffic as well.
Well, and the other one is that they're lowering the hill there, I believe, at Rainbow.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is the decrease on the height of that hill? Was it like 8 foot or 6 foot, something like that?
I can't recall. I know that we, when you look at that sight distances, you kind of run, we call a sight distance triangle. I can't remember. It was probably between 5 and 8 feet, I believe.
I think it's
pretty good
more
cut.
than that.
It was pretty good cut.
We have utilities at that intersection, and I think it's actually like 8 to 10 feet at Rainbow.
Okay.
And then I think it's 5 to 8 feet at between Riverway and Bentwood, from what I remember.
Hey,
So
Heath, why don't you say what you said in your comment? Because I'm sure everybody didn't read the chat.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I could unmute or not, so I put it in the chat. But yeah, I'm Heath Woods with Canyon Lake Water Service Company, and we've been working with TXDOT on this project for probably about a year and a half now. And what the plan is like he said, they obtain the right of way, they clear, and then the utilities come in and relocate. And that's all separate of the construction project that TXDOT does. Some utilities may do a joint bid, but most of us are doing separate, where they clear it, we go in and move our utilities, and then we're out of the way for the contractor to come in and start construction. So our schedule is we're going to be moving water lines probably within the next 2 months, starting that. And then we'll have all of our water lines moved by summertime is our current schedule.
So they'll have to do the cut down of the road, the hills, before y'all do your water line move, right?
No. And that's going to be a challenge for us in a couple of those areas where we're actually relocating farther out to get out of those cuts.
Okay.
But some of it, we're going to have to go extra deep. With our lines, but yeah, we've got that all worked out, and it's going to work fine. And I think the schedule is we are going first, and then I think PEC and GBRA come after us. I think is what the current schedule is.
Okay. There was a question about the traffic light. Will it be relocated from Stahl to Rainbow? But I imagine the traffic light will stay at Stahl. Will there be any other traffic lights through there?
No, Rainbow Drive will have a what we call a left-end only at that location, and the Rainbow Drive is not getting a traffic signal. It's going to stay at Stahl, or any existing traffic signal that's there today will be there when this project is constructed.
Okay.
And I wanted to just go back on the utilities, is that TXDOT cannot let a project, and when I said that, that fall of 2022, we can't let a project until all the utilities have been relocated. So that's why I say fall of 2022, because with the challenges of the utilities in this hill country area, like the gentleman stated, is we have to anticipate that date could slip, because that it's a challenge for these utility companies to relocate and meet the schedule.
Okay.
Because like I said, Canyon Water's moving, and you have to look at the electrical, you have to look at gas, then everybody has to move, take their turns to move.
And it is really sort of out of TXDOT's control to speak on their behalf a little bit, because they give us deadlines that we have to move, and Canyon Lake is meeting those deadlines, but I'm sure there's been challenges in other areas with utilities not being able to respond per their schedule.
Joe, did Heath answer your question about GBRA moving its transmission line concurrent with the Canyon Lake? He stated that they would be coming afterwards, so I think that answers that one.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that we're going first.
Okay.
And but I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know. Yeah, I believe that we're going first.
Okay. Any other questions regarding the Highway 46 expansion? All right. Well, Richard, I'd say let's go ahead and go on to the next project you have on your list.
Okay, great. And remember, I'll have my contact information at the end of the slide, and then the PDF should have it. So you can contact me anytime. And heck, I'd be more than happy to do this, 6 months or a year from now.
Okay.
This is the State Highway 46 project, and this is from Almond to Far Hills. Which is, we do have a project in Bernie to Almond Road, so we're carrying that. We started we got a consultant on board to start looking at this next corridor. to go from 2 lanes to 4 lanes divided with operational improvements at and grade separations at some of the major crossings, 3351 being one of them. This is an estimated construction cost of $195 million. Now this project has currently been put on pause due to those funding constraints that we talked about. I don't want to go too much into the details, but we've been reduced. We had about over $70 million in consulting contracts for schematic and environmental and feasibility studies, and we've been told we had to get that down to 15 million. So this was one of the ones that we had to put on pause for 2021. We know it's an important project, and we had the consultant was looking at it, and but it's kind of been on pause. So there's not really much. We started laying out some concepts. You know, there's obviously some challenges at FM 3351, some historic structures out there, but this project has been on hold, but it will, you know, I anticipate this project to start moving forward probably in 2022 sometime.
Okay.
All right.
Doesn't it overlap the Far Hills? Because didn't our project go all the way to Bulverde Road? The second phase?
It did. And you're very sharp for knowing that. It did. We went to Bulverde Road, but then what happened was we found a historical structure at a location. And it was very ironic because where this historical structure is, or a monument was, on the other side was a cemetery. So, because usually we just shift the road, but there was a cemetery on the other side. So what we did was we cut out that section. We cut out that section to save time for the project we were just talking about. And we knew at some time we would come back to study all the way to Far Hills again. And then with this bigger project, we have more time to try to work out those historical issues between Bulverde and Far Hills.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. All right, let's go to the next one. Any questions?
I don't see any other questions in the chat box at this time.
Okay. Now, this is somebody had mentioned the east side is, you know, the traffic coming from the east side. So this is the State Highway 46 from FM 2722 to 3159, where the project ends, the first one we talked about. And this is expand from 2 lanes to 4 lanes divided, and to look at major crossings at certain intersections along the corridor. This is estimated construction of $133 million, and this is currently in the planning stage for feasibility study. This project has not put on pause for 2021. We allocated some money to this consultant. When I say it has not been put on pause, it's been put on, you know, it's been slowed down a little bit. We did provide our consultant some money to, you know, to complete survey work. I think there were some concepts, but we did provide them some money to work on some concepts on for 2021 this year. So, but they are not like, we will not be probably having what we call meeting with affected property owners, and we don't know the right of way and all that out there just yet. That'll probably come in 2022. But we kind of, they were a little bit further along on this section of 46. So we said, hey, let's throw in some bucks in this and have them keep working on this slowly.
Let me confirm something. The second phase of the 46 project that comes through Bulverde did include 3159 with a grade separation at Spitzen Valley Road. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. That's that second phase of that first 46.
Phase of our first one. So this would just go up to where 3159 connects.
Yeah, we have to have to, have termination points of these projects. So 3159 is the logical termination, but obviously that 3159 with the grade separation will carry it past, and then that's where this project will tie into.
Okay, thank you. I don't see anyone typing or anything, so I think we're good on that one.
Okay, great. Okay, this is this project I was made aware of, oh gosh, maybe a month ago. This is FM 311 from 281 to 3159. It's rehab and widen existing narrow lanes and shoulders. This is funded. It has an estimated construction cost of $26 million, and it has an anticipated let of fall of 2025. I brought this project up. We haven't started schematic. We haven't started anything for this. But if you're all aware, this is a very narrow, there's some very narrow stretches of roadway out here. And I wanted to bring this up because we may have to do a schematic for this, because we could possibly need right-of-way out here. I'm not saying we might have to look at the roadway section to see if we can get some design exceptions just to widen it and add shoulders. But we may, because there's a lot of embankments, and there's some drops in that area if you all are familiar with that section. So I just wanted to let people know that this is an area that we are trying to not have to acquire any right-of-way out here, but we may have to.
Okay. Don't see any questions coming up on that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Now the biggie. I anticipate a lot of questions on this one. This is our favorite corridor in the whole wide world. One. The lifeline for the hill country. So we do have, if you all are aware, I'm sure you are, there is our big construction project from 1604 to the county line. And so that's currently under construction, and I think it's completing. I tried to text the area office, but it should be completing, next couple years. But this is so we anticipated. Look, there's Comal County has this huge, probably in the top 10 in counties in the country for growth.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at this 281 corridor. So we decided to get a consultant on board to look at the entire corridor from county line to county line, and to carry this stretch of highway to Blanco County line. So this is our kind of our phasing that we're looking at, which is that the Bexar County, which we consider that to be the phase one, is from the Bexar County line to State Highway 46, and then from 46 to Blanco County line, that traffic drops a little bit. So that, that's why we put that in the phase two. So from 46 to Bexar County line, that you all are probably experiencing a lot of that. It's there is some congestion out there. A lot of developments, you can just see it. You can see them popping up. A lot of developments occurring along that stretch. So this is the phase one, is to expand from a 4-lane divided to a 6-lane expressway with frontage roads. So it'll be, pretty similar to that section that they're building in Bexar County. And then the phase two would expand a 4-lane divided to a 4-lane expressway with frontage road, because that traffic drops off a little bit. Our anticipated construction estimates are, $238 million and $300 million. And this is currently in the feasibility stages. Now, we have already from the Bear County line to 46, we've already come up with a preferred concept, and we have met with property owners out there to the amount of right of way that we're looking to acquire. So this one is now there's currently no funding for this project, no funding at all. But this project, we did put money to keep this project moving as well, because we know it's an important project. Because obviously, you know, that concern about 46, how are you going from 2 lanes to 6 lanes, is the concern could be at that location at Bear County, is how are we going to a freeway section to a 4-lane section. So that's why we're anticipating to try to look at this freeway section from 46 to the Bear County line. Is that, any questions on that one?
So you don't know at this point what type of timeline or when it might start or anything?
We do not. We're probably looking to wrap up. We probably want we probably still need to meet with some more property owners. There's been some minor changes out on this schematic. We need to meet with some property owners out there, some more property owners, and then I believe we anticipate to have a public meeting on this year, like a virtual. We've been doing virtual open houses or public meetings, so we could probably do a virtual public meeting where you know, we have slides and boards and people can go in there and we have a 3D rendering.
Okay. So I think Joe Byers, did that answer your question as far as start date or phase 1? Joe's gone. Okay. Mike Gugliotti is asking, and this doesn't particularly pertain to this, but it, you know, connectors. Blanco Road is not a state highway in Comal County, but it's being a major connector between 46 and 1604. Does it fall under TXDOT or strictly county?
It does not. It's county. Our section of 2696 kind of ends right at that little spot you're looking at, and then after that it becomes a county road. And I know the Bear County, I believe Bear County has a project looking to expand that section of Blanco Road. I don't know if it goes past that river section, but I know they do have a section of Blanco to expand. But yeah, unfortunately, our project doesn't. Our road limits end, and it's all county.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a question back on Highway 281 expansion. It says at Rodeo Drive and 281, we need a longer crossover for the fire department. What steps do we need to take to achieve this until the project is started? Which that section would not be probably until phase 2. So on Rodeo Drive, are you familiar where that is? Off of?
I'm familiar with that's. I'm familiar with the post office and where the fire station is.
Not the one that's far north. This would be just past the Bulverde City, where the Bulverde City limits ends on 281. So it's there's a materials yard right there also. The fire station is up on top of a hill, and they come down. They have to actually go north, do a turnaround, and then come back. There is a small cut through that they can take the larger trucks through, but is there any way, who would they talk to, or how would we get that improved for the fire department to have access and emergency services?
Yeah, Will, are you there, Will?
Yes, sir. Still here.
Are you familiar with that?
The crossover Rodeo Drive for the fire department?
Right.
I'm looking on Google Earth right now to get a good understanding of what's being asked. And we had a similar situation in Wilson County where the local ESD wanted another crossover on 281. I'm sorry, 181, in between Bexar County and Floresville. One thing we have to be really careful about is realizing that if we provide a crossover, if we make a crossover larger, it's not only going to serve the fire department, but you're gonna encourage more use of that crossover. So we try to look at it as, look at the whole picture on 281. If they'd like to discuss that, they can contact my office. Usually when we do this, we get our traffic section involved and try to find ways to assist with getting the vehicles, say, onto 281. We can look at another crossover, a larger crossover, but we really try to limit the amount of crossovers or the size of crossovers that we have on expressways like 281. But I did give my contact information to the group. Feel free to send me an email about it, and
Okay.
we can start that discussion.
Okay, thank you, Will. Any other questions about the Highway 281 expansion? Judy, yes, I have seen that also because they want to turn into Heimerlange Lane. All right, so there's the contact information. So any other general questions for either Richard or Will?
Yeah, I just remembered the
306 project.
Yes, I didn't have that in there, but so we did have a consultant on board, very similar to the other 46s. I guess those outer ends that we're talking about. We did have a consultant on board to look at FM 306, and it would have been from River Chase, which is just west of New Braunfels, to Sattler, which is the Horseshoe, and that project was put on pause for 2021. However, Comal County has had interest in us looking at that area in Sattler, that Horseshoe area of the river. A lot of pedestrian traffic, during the summertime. A lot of, obviously traffic now getting congestion out there to Canyon Lake. So we are looking at that little small section in there to maybe look at some ped bridges and do a little bit of widening. So we do have a consultant on board for that small little section in Sattler, but the larger FM 306 project that we had is kind of put on pause for now. Any questions on that FM 306? I know there was somebody said they had a business out there. That's where I was.
This whole section where we would be more from Sattler all the way to 281 would be more of interest. Is there any upcoming expansion or road work that'll be there?
That one, we do not have a consultant on board for that one, but we do. We have identified that as something to look at. I would have said a year ago before COVID hit, I'd say, yeah, we're looking at that one like the next year to 2 years. But now I'd say we're going to start looking at that section from Sattler to 281 probably about 5 years from now. Okay.
At one point, when they were doing, I guess one of the FM 306 schematics from some other improvements, they had shown the possibility of 306 extending west to I-10. Is that still in the long range plan, or is it still looking for right now that it would stop at 281?
Ooh, that's a very good question. Willie, have you heard anything like that? I have not heard that.
I heard a brief rumor of talks about trying to extend 306 to I-10. I don't know where I heard it from, but somebody had mentioned it to me. That is all that I knew about it, that it was a rumor. I don't think we've looked at anything to take 306 to I-10. I know there was some concerns about realigning FM 473, which is in Blanco County, to line up with 306. But once again, all these were just speculations. I forgot where I heard them from, but I haven't seen anything or heard anything official about extending 306 to I-10. I mean, realize to do something like that, we're going through a lot of private land, yes. And we don't want to go where we're not wanted, if that makes sense.
I'm going to say it was 4 or 5 years ago. It was shown on a display board one time as a potential thing, and people are still looking for it because it was talked about. Yes, sir.
Is that on the city of Bulverde's thoroughfare plan to extend that? Because that's where some of that.
No, this is way north of
north of Bulverde. Okay. I don't know if it's in the Comal County master plan or something. Could be. I don't know. But we do not. The last kind of feasibility study we had was out in Bernie to look at some kind of a gateway around Bernie, and that obviously didn't come out to what we expected, and kind of told us to go away. So that kind of stuff on new alignments, we don't really we don't start new alignments or look at anticipated corridors like that until we get some kind of concurrence from the Comal, like a resolution from the county or the cities or whatever, saying, hey, can you guys look at a study out there? But I haven't heard anything for that.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Very cool. All right. Does anyone else have any questions for Mr. De La Cruz or Mr. Lockett with TXDOT? And again, we will forward this so that y'all can see bigger views of it. At one point, they had a virtual flyover, a visualization of what the 46 expansion would look like. I tried finding it the other day, and I think I found something, but I'm not positive. Are you looking for it? Okay. And while he's looking at that, Will, you might be able to answer this. I'm sorry, I missed this question. Going back to Highway 46, what does TXDOT improvements will be made at Highway 46 in Stall Lane?
Is Richard still on the call, or did he leave already?
I think when he disconnected somehow, we might have lost him.
Well, his block is still there, but no picture and no sound.
I know he had a schematic of the 46 project. That is a question that I'm going to struggle to answer.
Okay.
And this is you said 46 in Stall Lane. Who asked the question?
Well, Joe did, and Cliff Heck is also interested in it. Mainly because it's at a, it's also Riverway. Riverway goes north and Stall goes south there, and there is a traffic light there currently.
Okay.
Right, I'm curious if Stall Lane's going to be widened right there, because right now really only one car can go through the intersection. I was told at one point there'd be a dedicated right-hand turn lane and a dedicated left-hand turn lane going north on Stall to go east and west on 46. Do you know anything about that?
I would have to look at the schematic for this project.
Okay, well, maybe you can, afterwards just email me what's going to go on there. So I don't want to.
I was going to ask whoever's interested in how that intersection looks, if you can just send me your contact information directly on the chat. I would have time to to look at the schematic and give you a definite answer. I just don't want to give you a speculative answer that's not correct. I think I saw Richard flash back on. If he's there, he might have access to the schematic. Richard, are you still there?
Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
There you are.
I apologize, everybody. It makes it seem like I haven't done this, and I've been doing it for, every day, 5 times a day, and I've been kicked out twice, so it's just really odd. What was the question?
The question was, what is the intersection of 46 and Stall Lane going to look at? There was concerns with having a dedicated right turn lane and left turn lane onto Stall when you're on State Highway 46. And I didn't know if you had the schematic readily available.
I do. There will be a traffic signal at Stall Lane and Riverway. There will be a right turn lane for Stall Road, and there will be a right turn lane for Riverway. There'll be a left turn, that 6-lane section. There'll be a left turn lane into Riverway, and there'll be a left turn lane into Stall. So it's a major improvements at that location.
Thank you.
They were more concerned about Stall. Would it be widened there also to provide people being able to get out of Stall easier?
Stall Road will not be widened. That's only going to be like a 2-lane section still there. We are extending that section all the way to Lost Creek, but we are not widening that section.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions for Richard or Will? We gotta thank you for TXDOT for completing the Guadalupe River Bridge finally. That was a major celebration out here when the bridge finished, yes.
Oh, trust me, I do understand. I was just as happy.
Will and Richard, y'all have to understand with the last 2 projects that have been out here, which are the turnarounds under the bridge and the Guadalupe River Bridge, the community as a whole is a little bit hesitant about going through this project because of our past experience. Y'all are going to guarantee us you're going to get a contractor that's going to come and do fast, expeditious work like they are in Bexar County. We want to know who paid them off up there to get, boy, those projects are just moving along with lightning speed, and we'd love to know that that's going to happen here also.
You hit on a valid point. The 2 projects you mentioned, the turnarounds at 281 and 46 and the Guadalupe River Bridge. Those 2 projects were done by smaller contractors. And we ran into some challenges with both contractors. One of the biggest differences you see in Bexar County on that 281 project is, I believe one of the contractors is Weber, and I forgot the other one, but much larger contractors, more equipment, more personnel. So we really have no control over who gets the contract. The way our bidding system works is it goes to the lowest bidder. As long as they're a qualified bidder in the state of Texas and they get the low bid, then they get the project. So it's one of those fingers crossed.
Okay.
And to be honest, I believe this project was, around 44 million, if I'm correct, Richard.
Yes, sir.
That should attract the larger contractors compared to the ones we had on the turnaround and on the Guadalupe River Bridge. Should.
Okay. Going back,
I feel your pain.
I imagine you've had a few phone calls on that. A question going back to the Highway 46 expansion at Riverway and Stall. You mentioned there, or I'd ask about improvements to Stall. Will there be any improvements to Riverway at the Highway 46 interchange there?
No, ma'am. It's still going to be that 2-lane in and out section, kind of just tying. We tie a little bit past that little 46 Parkway, that little, I guess we'd call it a little backage road.
Right.
We just a little bit ahead of that, and I'm guessing that we're tying, down to Lost Creek into that area because of the grades. So we have to try to meet those grades, and that's why. But no, we're not expanding the Riverway section.
Okay. This is further down. John is asking, do you know if the rock wall at Creekwood Pass in 46 will be taken down? This would be actually in phase 2. It's further down, but they have been doing the land clearing all the way to 3159. It's on the north side of the road, past Sun Valley, before Mitchell, no, after Mitchell, actually. John, are y'all past Mitchell Drive or before? You're before Faithville, right? John, are you there?
Okay, it's right before that turn that and the high school is on the south side of 46.
Right. Okay.
It's Creekwood Pass.
Creekwood Pass.
And Creekwood Pass and then Whistling Hills.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
On the north side of the road.
On the north side of the road.
Okay, Creekwood Pass.
It's a nice wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, Creekwood. No, that we are
going to the south.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, the Creekwood Pass is we're not acquiring any right of way on that side. Remember, we widened. That's what we're widening everything to that south part. That
there so you go.
Yeah, we're not the Creekwood Pass roadway. Now we obviously when we expand, we're gonna have to carry it the roadway all the way, through that curve. But we are not touching any wall or anything at Creekwood Pass.
Okay.
Good. Thank
Made
you.
your day, John. The underpass at Highway 281, the question came up, the underpass at Highway 281 and 46, will they have to do any expansion to underneath there, or will the turnaround lanes and everything, are they able to add, I guess, the additional 2 lanes the way it is right now?
Okay, let me check.
From what I saw, I think they're just expanding it all the way to the pillars between the road and
it's expanding a little bit. You can see those little island medians underneath are getting expanded. We have to expand to add that 3rd lane on the outside and then the bike lanes. So there is going to be some work underneath 281.
But they won't have to redo anything with the highway. They're just going to be expanding up to those pillars, correct?
Well, we are improving the ramps, the on and off ramps.
Okay.
On the north and the south. We're taking those all the way down, past I believe it's that feed store. We're going past that, and then we're going to maybe the first driveway for the Walmart. We're going a little bit north, so we're improving those on and off ramps at that.
When they do the Highway 281 expansion, or when they do the 46 expansion?
The 46 expansion is part of that.
Okay, very cool.
Especially that northbound off ramp to 46. That's a huge one.
Yes.
That's going to be that's going to have a left turn lane, a left turn and through, and a dual two right turns. Dual right.
That's on the CVS side, right? On the east side of.
Yes, ma'am. On the CVS side.
Okay. Well, guys, I want to honor your time. It's 9 o'clock. We said if y'all have any other questions.
I can ask any more. I can stay. I have it till 9:30 or.
Okay.
But so if you have any more questions on it, just let me.
Actually, we did have a question pop up then. Will the Discount Tire egress be closed permanently? And there's a big please there. Off of 281. It would actually be part of the Highway 281 expansion, but it's on the west side in Singing Hills, where It's not Harmony. What's the other? Melody Drive comes in off of 281. Discount Tires right there. There's a, I think when y'all do the expansion on that part, it'll actually have access roads on each side of 281, correct? So
That's
really,
correct.
okay.
That section of state highway, that section of 281, we carry that expansion all the way to past Singing Hills, the Walmart development. So that, we're looking at the roadway improvements so that you'd have access roads or frontage roads, and then you tie that off, and then you start the main lanes. But those improvements do go as far as the Singing Hills development for that first phase of 281 that we're looking at.
Okay. Another question came up and said, will either phase of the Highway 46 expansion incorporate the lining up of Bulverde Crossing and Singing Hills? It's Singing Oaks, I think, is there, but I don't think Bulverde Crossing and Old Bernie Road and Singing Oaks will that be lined up during the 46 expansion?
It will. The Old Bernie Road will, it kind of, that skew goes away, and it curves and lines up with Singing Oaks. We did acquire right away, that where that raw land is there. I believe HEB owns it. We did acquire right away to do that realignment. So that skew, that terrible skew that's there, is not going to be there anymore.
Okay,
and
so Singing
that's
Oaks
with phase one.
Okay, so Singing Oaks will actually go straight across then to Old Bernie Road.
That's correct.
I know they're moving that big detention pond now.
Yes.
Back off the road. We didn't know that part of the.
That was part of the acquisition to realign the Old Bernie Road. So now it'll be an intersection. It's not a perfect intersection. It's kind of tight, but it will align, and there'll be one traffic signal there. So you'll be able to, Old Bernie Road, you'll be able to turn left now out of Old Bernie Road to westbound 46.
Okay. Real quick on the Highway 281 expansion, and I've seen the schematics on it. I believe the bridge at 1863 will be expanded.
That's correct.
And then there will be a new bridge at Mustang Vista.
That's correct.
And then the 46 bridge will be expanded?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I believe they're going to be a new overpass at Mustang Vista.
That would be the only new one. The other ones would just be expanded. Okay.
I believe so. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
1863 is a challenge. It's pretty tight. There's a lot of businesses, but we're trying not to affect any of the businesses at that location.
Okay. I'm checking, make sure I haven't missed one here. People are saying thank you so much for the great information. They're having to sign off. Will Old Bernie Road be widened? Old Bernie Road is considered a county road as such, right?
Old Bernie Road, when we realign it, it'll have a through lane and a left turn lane, and then it'll have like a little separate right turn lane.
Old Bernie Road or the Singing Oaks?
Singing Oaks, we're not touching. Well, we're only going about maybe 50 feet of constructing Singing Oaks. But with the realignment of Old Bernie Road, it will have a left turn and a through together, and then a separate right turn lane, and then I guess it'd be a southbound one lane through.
Because it'll dead end there at Old Bernie Road will dead end at Singing Oaks, right? It won't continue on to 46. Maybe do you have a schematic on that intersection?
Let me see if I can share my screen real quick.
Okay.
Host, is there a way you can share my screen again?
Oh,
I can show it to you.
You should be able to. We didn't take it. Oh, but you had to log back in. So why will it not let me? Find participant, Rhonda, Richard.
This is the beauty of virtual. I can just pull this thing up and we can look at it.
If your host can find you. Okay, more. Make co-host. Okay. You're co-hosted now, so you should be able to do share screen.
Can you all see that?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
So this is where we're talking, right? Old Bernie Road and then Singing Oaks.
Yes, sir. Uh-huh.
So this is what how we're realigning that.
Wow.
Okay, so the existing where it kind of connects into 46 right now, that will go away. That will be closed down, right?
Yeah, that red hatched area will be obliterated.
Wow.
Okay.
That'll go away.
Okay.
And it'll be realigned, and then there'll be that signal there.
Okay.
That's a big improvement at that location.
Yeah.
We acquired all this right away to do that improvement.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So, and all the construction that's going on there is really just to move the water detention ponds back off the road so that you can do this.
All that. Well, this is owned by HEB, which this right-of-way acquisition wasn't cheap. This is HEB, so they have to rework it with, we acquired all that right away there, so they have to rework this pond, because this pond is for their entire development back over here, this old development, because they own this too, so they're reworking that pond.
Okay. Yeah, they're digging a big, deep ditch there. So, All right, guys. Comment that light will make a big difference, and it will. That will be a nice addition there.
I wanted to go to stall. I know there were some questions on that. See, this is the stall and Riverway. So this is the improvement we're doing there.
Richard, would you be able to share these last few slides with your presentation as well?
Can you email me the two things you just showed us?
Sure. I can snippet all that and send it to you, Michael.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, I know other people would like to have those two screenshots too. So if you can send those to either Michael Gugliotti, and then we'll pass them on to everybody. And actually, if you don't mind the 46 intersection there too, that would be great.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to
or
point
the
out.
281, I'm sorry, that intersection.
These are the improvements we're doing, the ramp improvements, and you can see how the major improvement we're doing here.
Just all the improvements that's going to be going on here.
Yeah, does look great.
Around the area, as far as roadways, construction, and all that stuff.
Yeah. So over here, currently you have that big going north off of 46 onto 281. Is that going to be, it's in red, is that going to be closed, that lane that kind of veered around there?
Yes, the
So
sweeping.
you'll actually have to go to the light or to the intersection to turn to go north now.
We're putting this right turn lane in here, pretty long right turn lane. It's all 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, about 550 feet. So we're putting that right turn lane here, and that's going away. This is really not ideal to have these sweeping rights at when we come to these major intersections.
Good. All right. All right. Does anyone else have any questions? If not, we will let Richard and them go. Again, we'll be sharing the presentation, so you'll have their contact information, and you would be able to email them directly if you'd like to get information. And I'm just gonna, I'm gonna put you and Richard on notice. Prior to the construction starting, I know that the chamber will probably be calling on y'all to hopefully host an in-person town hall meeting for especially all the businesses that are going to be affected by the construction, so that they can, meet and greet, get to know the people that are going to be working on it, and how they can contact y'all if they have issues or questions or anything. So thank you very much.
Yeah, real quick, I wanted to point out that when I talk about the demo work
right now,
that's getting completed right now, the tree removal, that's really, I know a lot of people call Will, and you can continue to call Will, but it's really, it's really under our right-of-way office, which is kind of, I don't oversee the right-of-way office, but I work with them. But if you want to, you can contact me as well if you have concerns about some of that demo. I know we've been receiving some calls on that, and we have, I should say, scolding the demo contractor, saying, hey, keep it clean, keep it professional out there, because I know a lot of people have been complaining, and we're trying to respect you guys' wishes of trying to keep it looking good out there as the business owners who are all out there. So we are, we did have, when all this was happening, we were having like weekly meetings with them to say, hey, where are you at? They need to keep the area office, Will, they need to keep him informed of what areas they're clearing out, so Will's not blindsided by it. So just the FYI on that is we have been trying to get after the demo contractor to keep things moving, but keep it clean out there.
Will, that was $20 well spent, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. No, and the point that Richard brings up is really valid. The right-of-way clearing, the demo work for the right-of-way is not administered out of my office. But feel free to call me if you have any questions. And usually what happens if I get a question on the demo or the right-of-way, the first person I email is Richard. And then he goes and gets the answer, and we get it back to y'all as quick as possible. The complaints the concerns have gone down, Richard, since we started meeting weekly with the contractor. And I believe from the last meeting, we're really close to wrapping up all the right-of-way work along this section of State Highway 46. So it is much improved. Thank you.
All right, I know this has come up quite often, and I can't believe we didn't think to ask this question earlier. The Chevron station that is on the corner of the southwest corner of 46 and 281, my understanding is that yes, you're zooming in. They're having to just relocate their gas pumps a little further south because of the right-of-way acquisition, and then they are going to move the building, I understand, a little bit further south also. Is that correct?
I believe so. I don't know exactly their site plan, but they're the right-of-way, with that right-of-way acquisition you're looking at, we are kind of clipping their canopy. And so I know that they have, I guess they did a land plan to see if they could stay there. And obviously they do want to stay there. It's a great spot. But yes, I believe they are doing some, I believe this building now is not going to be at this angle. I think I saw it, last time I saw it, I think it's going to be squared off if I'm not mistaken. But I'd hate to speculate on what they're doing. I really don't know, but I do believe that they have been compensated to relocate, situate their building better.
Yeah, their employees told me that they were just relocating everything further south in the building. They were going to try to stay the convenience store stay open throughout the construction, but they threw out that they would be adding on to the south side of it, or changing it a little bit, and that a Laredo Taco would be moving in there. But that they would try to keep open different parts of the store during the construction, but that the gas pumps were going to stay. They were just having to relocate the tanks and move some of them down, and they were excited because they're going to get new gas pumps and stuff there too, and a new setup. So I hope that answered your question. The employees are under the definite impression that they're going to be there still, and with the signage they put up, it appears that way too. They got big signs up now saying we're still open through the construction. So it looks like they're planning on staying.
Yeah, the new manager there told me the building's moving back and the car wash will go away. So the building will be almost backed up to the tree line.
Okay. And then I have a question here, if anyone else has anything about that. If not, we'll move on to the last question. Being a business owner in Bexar County on Highway 281 expansion, y'all have been very good and keeping the work areas clean and organized, and she thanks you for that. So
Yeah,
pass it on to the contractors that are working up there that they've been very good to their businesses along the way.
Yeah, I appreciate that comment. I'll let the North Bear area office know that, because I know that has been an issue out there, and a lot. I have received, believe it or not, nothing but compliments of how the construction is going out there. It is rocking, man. It is.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what they've been doing.
We would really love to see that on our 46th expansion. Richard, can you move the schematic that you have up over to where we can see move it to the right so that we can see the Creekside. Nope, the other direction, I'm sorry. The Creekside interchange. It would be past Bulverde Crossing, one more, right there. So Creekside Parkway.
Yeah, I remember us working with the folks in Creekside. We at first we had a raised median, and they convinced us, so there will be opportunity for them to be able to left in. And with that said, there was also a left in at this location too, so that it's not a full median opening, but it does allow lefts. And it's kind of concurrent, so it's. I think this was a great compromise we did between these two traffic signals.
Okay, so there's no light there, but they would be able to pull out and turn left.
They would be able to.
On the Creekside, they can turn right.
Yeah, they won't be able to turn left out. They'll be able to turn left in. They'll have to come turn to right.
Right.
Get to
Go to the light.
Make
At
a
the
U-turn.
light, will they be able to do a U-turn?
Yes, with a 6-lane roadway or 3 lanes on this side, it's a little bit easier to make that U-turn.
Okay. Annabelle, does that answer your question? Okay.
It would
All
be
right.
ideal if they could get access. I think there was some talk about trying to get access to Windmill Ranch, but I don't know if the HOA would allow it.
Yeah, probably not. Okay. That answered her question. All right. Well, unless we have any other questions, I want to thank Richard De La Cruz with the San Antonio District Office of TXDOT and Will Lockett for joining us today. It has been very informational, very informative. Thank you for spending the time and walking through this with us. We'd love to see it start soon, but I understand we've got other things that have to happen before y'all can start. Let's just say, best case scenario, the utility companies get out there and it just goes smoothly and they get finished by June or July, August of this year. Could it move up the contract let date if all of the utilities are completed, or is it a hard thing that it won't be until late 22?
The only date, the month I could probably tell you is probably September of 2022. If the utilities get completed before that, it would be very highly unlikely.
Yeah.
But
always hope.
But you also have plans that need to get completed, and they're shooting for that September of 2022 date, or a little bit before that. But because they're, like I said, they're still between 60 and 90, and I mean there's a lot of going back and forth with our designers and the utilities. It's not when people see that these utilities get adjusted or wonder why it's taking so long, there's just a lot of time and effort put between the designers and the utility companies to get these lines situated. It's a lot of behind the scenes type work that people really don't understand, and that's why it takes a while for these utilities to get done. But yeah, I wouldn't make any promises before all of 2022.
Okay. I know one of the big concerns, because we have the 4 schools that are going to be, adversely affected through all of this. I'm sure y'all have worked closely with Comal ISD on trying to figure out how to get kids in and out of the school during the construction. So that I know is going to be a big issue going forward. But
yeah, we did, and that was what I'm so in the middle school is we worked with them very closely. They did not like a full opening, so we allowed a left-in only here, and then for their bus traffic would come out here, get into this, and we allowed this big old loon we call this turnaround for their buses.
Hey,
so
Richard, we can't see what you're looking at.
yeah, you don't have the screen up anymore.
My bad. I am so sorry.
No problem.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my apologies. For the middle school, we worked with them on this, and this is what I was talking about for their main entrance. We allowed like a left-in only. This is what they wanted. They did not want any cross traffic through here. So we worked with them with a left-in only. So parents would drop off, come back around, they'd have to take a ride and then make a U-turn. And for their bus traffic, this was where their bus traffic comes, the majority of their bus traffic. They come in, take a ride, go pick up. And then if they need to go westbound, they would take a right, get into this left turn lane and do this U-turn. We built that for them and this is designed for buses. So this is kind of what we worked with the middle school and the ISD out there for the middle school.
Okay. Area. Very good.
And then the elementary school, they have a signal at this location, so that's kind of what.
Well, their traffic actually comes in most of their traffic comes in off of Singing Oaks over here. But at this point, a lot of times the traffic backs up through Singing Oaks, so I'm not sure. The buses come out there at the traffic light, so that gives the buses a good travel lane, so.
Yeah, I'm going to put you all on the spot. Has anybody heard about this elementary school relocating? Because that's kind of a rumor we've heard at prime commercial property here.
It's been for sale, and Sally, I saw you're still on the call if you want to chime in, if you know anything about it, but it's been for sale for, gosh, over 10 or 12 years. At this time, I have not heard that it's relocating. Some of their problems were resolved with Singing Hills, connecting them to their wastewater treatment plant to where they could move the kids in the back versus the kids being up in the front playing and stuff along the road. But Kelly's saying that, to her knowledge, there's no plans to relocate the Bill Brown at this time.
Okay. Rumor, kind of like those rumors you hear from TXDOT. We've heard that too. we have, and I was at Broadway for years, and we at one point got real excited because we were going to have, if somebody did buy it, there was an option to buy it at one point. We were ready to get the light access so that our customers could come out at the light instead of trying to cut across on Highway 46, but that fell through. So anyways, but at this time with I believe once they got the wastewater treatment plant connection and stuff and the other improvements that Singing Hills assisted them with the traffic flow in the front and everything, that they are situated there for a while. I got you. Okay.
All right. Well, I really appreciate it. It's almost 9:30, and I know y'all have really been wonderful to stay with us and visit and answer questions. Again, I will forward all of this information once they send it to me and we get everything downloaded to y'all so that you can go back and relook at your favorite parts and rehear or share different parts with anyone that is of interest. So thank y'all for joining us. I just have Richard and Will, thank y'all so much again, and we will share your contact information. And I know this group, I imagine you will get some email questions and everything. Just want to remind y'all that the Power Lunch next week is on January 20th. Danny Batts from the city of Bulverde will be talking about current and future developments in our area. If you haven't registered, please check back in with us. And then the board of directors will be doing their strategic planning on the 21st of January. Yesterday, I sent out a short survey. Jay Johnson will be working with us on the strategic plan this year, and the survey results will be going directly to him, and he will be compiling them and sharing them with the board. So please take a few minutes. It's very important for us to know what you want from the chamber and how you want us to move forward in this crazy world we're living in. So we really would like your input. So please take a few minutes and fill that survey out for us if you can by Friday. Last thing, thank y'all, and stay safe and healthy out there, and have a wonderful rest of the week. Thank y'all for joining us today.
Thanks, Will and Richard. Great job.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. You guys take care. Stay safe.
Take care. Thank you much.
Thanks, guys. Hey, ladies. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank y'all.
Bye, guys. Kristen, are you cold over there?
Yes. Well, not anymore. I've got my, nice winter jacket on.
Gotta get on. All right. I will get this downloaded and uploaded to YouTube so that later this afternoon you can put it out on the thing, but I'll also send it to everyone. So, very good. See you later.
Right. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.